Codexa is an AI-powered legal assistant designed to make the law more accessible and understandable to everyday Americans. The app retrieves relevant statutes, codes, and regulations from an indexed legal database and then provides plain language explanations and citations with direct links to the official text. The inspiration came from a simple but widespread challenge. Legal information is notoriously hard to access and even harder to understand. Many people cannot afford an attorney or lack the resources to navigate legal codes on their own, which creates barriers to justice and civic participation. By combining new advances in AI with publicly available statutes and codes, I saw an opportunity to democratize legal knowledge and provide clear, trustworthy answers to the everyday questions that people have. Codexa was born out of a belief that knowing your rights should not be a privilege for the few, but a resource available to all. But what are the advantages of Codexa over, let's say, any other AI like ChatGPT or Gemini? Well, it's specifically designed for the regular person, with plain language and easy explanations that remain comprehensive without being overly verbose and sounding like the legal text it is sourcing. Additionally, verifiability was a core aim of the project. Citations are included with every message, which allow users to verify the information they receive. Additionally, the low-cost architecture that this software was built on means that it can serve the communities that need it most and do not have the resources to hire a lawyer. Also, by using retrieval-augmented generation and embeddings-based semantic search, Codexa ensures that answers are grounded in authoritative legal passages rather than internet speculation, which is a risk associated with many of the online AI assistants like ChatGPT not designed for this purpose. For example, if you use ChatGPT, it could find and cite a source, but this source you don't know if it's correct because it's just a website on the internet. On the other hand, Codexa only sources official government websites. And in that way, it acts as a bridge between the complex legal language and citizens who want to understand their rights, obligations, and protections without being fed false information. Another protection built into Codexa is prompt engineering to reduce hallucinations. The AI is instructed to only output based on context found in the database and not to refer to any other sources, which is another issue you may have when using other AI assistants. Now let's watch a demo of Codexa. In this demo, Codexa is accessing a database containing the laws of New York State. The questions that matter most to regular Americans are often very practical and immediate. So here, let's ask Codexa, does New York require employers to give paid sick leave? As you can see, Codexa gives a comprehensive yet concise answer. While initially answering the question, yes, New York does require employers to give paid sick leave. And then it goes into the specific constraints and exceptions to the rules. So it's based on the number of employees they have in any calendar year, and there's some other exceptions there. And then it also, as you can see below, it cites its sources. Here it's citing the labor law, the education law, and the rapid transit law. So a user could click on all of those and see which ones made sense to them in their context. And the earlier the citation, the more relevant it was to the answer. Now let's ask Codexa, what are the rules for overtime pay in New York? As you can see, it answers the question concisely once again. In New York State, employees working more than 8 hours in a day or more than 40 hours in a work week must be paid at least 1.5 times their regular hourly rate for overtime. And now it goes through the exceptions and it links, once again, the sources. So it links the retirement and social security law for overtime, general municipal law specifically for the exception about public officers, and the labor law for overtime. So as you can see when you see the laws, the one that's probably most relevant to most people is just looking at the labor law in general. And you could do that and explore more in the law and verify that what Codexa is saying is accurate. Finally, let's ask Codexa, how much notice does a landlord need to give before raising rent in New York? So once again, it answers the question in a very concise manner. They need to give at least 30 days for a tenant who's occupied for less than a year, 60 for a tenant for more than a year but less than 2, and 90 for a tenant who's occupied for more than 2. And once again, it cites its sources, which is going to be the real property law for all three different sections. And another thing that is a benefit of having citations is that if someone asks, or if someone is conversing with their landlord, they're having an argument that they can't raise rent that quickly without informing them, they can actually cite or send the link to the actual links in the law because now they have them. And that's it for this demo video of Codexa. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.